Today, medicine is chaos. More than half of the world's population, that's roughly 4.5 billion people, doesn't even have access to basic medical care. And by the way, that's according to the WHO. And every year, this results in the deaths of over 10 million people who could have been saved. In Africa alone, there's one doctor for every 10,000 people. Can you imagine? Well, if we take India, for example, 1 in 4 patients there doesn't receive treatment. And even in Europe and the US, supposedly developed countries, millions die from misdiagnoses and lost data. And for 100 years, the WHO has been trying to unify the world's systems under a single standard. But to this day, different countries have different markers and testing methods, different treatment protocols, different medical record formats. And a patient moving from one country to another, which happens very often now because of wars and other issues, is forced to start all over again. And most of the time their history is lost and the new place they arrive at knows nothing about them or their health. The system simply doesn't remember or know the person or their history. And now Healthy4U is changing that, changing it forever. A multi-agent system as a global health memory. Healthy4U is creating what governments, corporations, and international organizations could not. It's a single digital health standard for every person on Earth. The multi-agents work together as a single organism. For instance, how does it work? The diagnostics agent analyzes the history of injuries, surgeries, and medications. The preventive medicine agent predicts risks. If you had a knee injury at 25, let's say, it will be sure to warn you about inflammation 30 years later. The nutritionist agent knows which vitamins and elements the body needs to prevent a disease from developing. The data analysis agent stores and synchronizes all the information about you. Imagine a doctor who remembers everything about your health since the day you were born and never ever forgets. That is a digital health memory, more accurate and reliable than any archive. No doctor, no clinic, no government knows as much about a person as Healthy4U does. Today, when a person moves from country to country, they become invisible to the system, a place where they can't bring any medical documents with them, where files won't open, where their past has simply vanished, and their test results aren't recognized at all in other countries because of the language barrier, and people's records often get lost. And so Healthy4U, it just breaks down that wall. First of all, the system speaks any language. Second, all data is instantly translated and recognized. And of course, most importantly, your health history is accessible anywhere in the world in any language and for any doctor. You can go to Tokyo, Berlin, Nairobi, Tel Aviv, New York, wherever you want, and a doctor will see your complete history in a second. Now, if we talk about preventive medicine, it doesn't really exist in the world, and it's amazing why no one has come to this or thought about it until now. The world spends trillions of dollars treating consequences, symptoms, but almost nothing on preventing disease. Healthy4U simply changes this principle completely. First of all, the system analyzes indicators in real time. No one else has this. Second, it warns about risks even before symptoms appear, meaning a person hasn't felt anything yet, hasn't gotten sick, but the system already knows what might happen to them. It generates recommendations for them so that the illness doesn't even start, so you don't get sick. This isn't treatment, it's simply disease preemption. It's the medicine of the future, which begins even before a diagnosis, before the illness. Let's talk about from birth to future generations, because, well, everyone thinks about who is being born now, right? If we take, for example, a young couple that uses Healthy4U even before the birth of a child, the system analyzes their condition, nutrition, genetics, and it creates a healthy foundation for the future generation. We know that healthy parents will certainly have a healthy child with a stable psyche and a good immune system. Healthy4U isn't just a technology. It's a kind of evolution of a human who knows how to consciously take care of themselves. From my experience, I can tell you, working in medicine, that it's important for both the man and the woman, the husband and wife, the couple, to restore their health together and bring their bodies into a single balance. Then the child will 100% be born healthy, smart, calm, and, well, in the future, even a genius. But most importantly, they'll have a strong immune system, and this child will 100% live for many, many years. Personalized preventive health, that's what's missing today. And this is what I've been creating for over 10 years at the GavCure clinic in Israel. And now, Healthy4U is creating an ecosystem that will become an essential part of every person's health. I am more than certain of this, where doctors will have a single tool for diagnosing and monitoring a person's condition, and medical organizations will have a universal data format, a single one for the whole world. Insurance companies will have transparent risk indicators, and families will have control and security, which is the most important thing for every person. And every person will have a personalized prevention kit and complex in their pocket. A 24/7 assistant that knows, remembers, sees, and monitors every second of our lives, whether we're asleep or active. If we take, for example, this personalized preventive formula, it's not a pill. It's a kind of intellectual capsule containing only what a specific body needs. For example, vitamins, minerals, how to adjust your diet and sleep, integration with Apple Health, Apple Watch, with any medical devices and trackers that today only work at half capacity and not to their full potential. And most importantly, we will be actively preventing diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular diseases. And just imagine a pill, one that is truly personalized for you. Call it a vitamin or a mineral, it really doesn't matter, which you take just once a month or perhaps even only once a year. And it will be created so that a disease never even starts in your body. Would you like to have a pill like that, created specifically for you, taking into account absolutely everything about your health, right down to your DNA? And along with the recommendations from Healthy4U, this formula basically becomes the foundation of a new lifestyle. And health will no longer be a matter of chance. Health will become a guarantee for a person, for their longevity. So Healthy4U is building the ecosystem of the future, which will unite medicine, technology, and humanity. I am more than certain that in 5 to 10 years, every person will have their own health agent, their own health assistant in their pocket. For instance, for doctors, it's a universal assistant. For medical organizations, it's synchronized data, regardless of the person's country or language. For insurance companies, dynamic rates based on real indicators. For families, control over generational health, giving you peace of mind for both older and younger generations. And for the individual, it's smart, life-extending prevention right in their pocket. Healthy4U is creating a kind of medical Google. It's a universal language of health for every person on the planet. Look, let's go back a bit. Back in history, say 100 years ago, when people lived to be 40, that was the norm. Today, people live to be 80. But still, 9 out of 10 people die from diseases that could have been prevented if they had followed a certain proper life schedule, diet, lifestyle, a balance of activity and rest, and so on. And this is where Healthy4U and our artificial intelligence opened the way to an era where people live to be 120, 150 years old with a young body, a clear mind, and a different kind of health. This is no longer a fantasy. This technology has already been created. You know, what the WHO, governments and corporations have failed to unify for centuries, Healthy4U is doing today. One platform, one standard, one health memory for all of humanity. Healthy4U is a revolution that will change medicine and prolong life on the planet. It's the single language of medicine. It's a global health memory. It's personalized prevention for every person and a new future of longevity for everyone.